Hello and welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Kasi. I am Kasi, and today these are the Peyote Stitch earrings that I will be making. Most of the components for the earrings right here came from the Potomac Beads Treasure Edition for the month of November 2023. And I am also going to review the 3 patterns that I made that came in the kit edition for November. And if you are interested in either of the Potomac bead boxes, either the kit edition or the treasure edition, or like me, you're interested in both, I will have all the information in the description box below. I highly encourage you to go check them out. Not only do they have 2 amazing bead boxes, they also have an amazing website that has just about anything you could need for the jewelry making hobby. So if you would like to hear my review of these patterns and see how these earrings right here came about, then stay tuned. Alright, let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the tools that I'll be using. I have 1 set of cutters, 1 set of round nose pliers, 1 size 10 beading needle, and I will also be using 8-pound fire line in the color Smoke, which is this black color. And I always get the 125 yards just because I go through a lot of this. I will also be using my thread zap, and I want to briefly mention my tool set. It is the Casual Comfort tool set, and like the name suggests, these are the most comfortable tools that I have found. A lot of times, for whatever reason, jewelry making tools tend to be quite a bit smaller, and they certainly function if you have small hands, but as you can see, these seem to just be made for adult size hands, and you can see the grips are quite a bit larger as well. I just can't imagine using anything else at this point. So I will have this tool set linked down below along with everything else I use in the video that did not come from the bead box. I will also link below the opening video that I did for the treasure edition, and that will have a detailed description of everything that came from the box. For my own stash, I'm going to be using some gold size 11/0 seed beads and some pink/purple pinkish 15/0 seed beads. So I'm going to be highlighting this ring that came in the box, this hammer textured ring. I just think this thing is so neat. I love the way this thing looks. And I already have one of the earrings made. And here it is. I don't really have a name for it yet. Kind of a burst of color earring. I'm not sure. I think it turned out so pretty. And as you can see from the side, it has kind of a wave to it, which I just think adds to it. I love the way this came out. So I'm going to set this aside and we'll make the other one together. So I already thread the needle with a good length of thread. I have a full wingspan where I held it all the way out as far as my hands would go. And the way I'm going to start this is just by tying a simple knot on the ring. I'm gonna go all the way to the end of the thread, and I don't need any length of thread left. I just need enough to tie a knot, and then I'm gonna cut this off. I'm gonna tie a basic over-under knot, kind of like you're tying your shoes. Just like that, and do it again. All right, so I'm gonna push my active thread back, take that tail, and cut it off. I'm gonna take my thread zap and push the button. And once it heats up, I'm going to go to that nub and melt it down. So now all I have is that active thread. Now, this is a peyote stitch, and a lot of this is repetitive. So I'll show you how I begin each row, and then we'll meet back up to start the next row. So we're going to start with the 8/0 seed beads that came in the box. So I'll pick one up, go through the loop and pull it all the way through. When you get to the end of the thread, you're going to put your needle through the back side of that seed bead and then pull it snug, and it should just land right on top of the ring. And pick up the next one. Go all the way to the end. Same thing, go back through that seed bead. And when you pull it snug, it should sit right next to the first one you added. And we're gonna do this all the way around, but I'll add a couple more. Pick up the next one, go through. When you get to the end, go through the back side of that seed bead. And when you pull it snug, it should sit right next to it, just like that. And one more, pick up the next one, through the loop and through the back side of that seed bead. And when you pull it, again, lays right next to it. So we're gonna do this same thing all the way around, and we'll meet up when we come back to the first side. All right, so here we are. And now you see there's a little bit of a gap there, and that's okay. You can kind of shift it around. And to put them together, I'm gonna go down the first one that I added, just like that, and put it through, and go back up that last one that I just added, and pull it kind of snug. So there's that first layer. Now the next layer. So my next layer is going to be these 3mm beads. And I'm coming out of one of the 8-0s. I pick up one and I'm gonna go down the next one. And pull it all the way through. And you're gonna kind of stack it in between. Put it through the ring. And you're gonna come back out the same one that you went down, just on the opposite side of the ring. So now I'm coming out of that 8-0 right there, and I pick up one more, and I'm gonna go down the next 8-0, and then kind of stack it up, go through, and go right back out that same one I just went down. And this is how we're gonna make our whole way around. So I'll do one more. I pick up the next one, and I'm gonna go down the next 8-0. And when I pull it, I'm gonna kind of stack it, go through the ring, and I'm gonna come back out the one I just went down. So there are the first three, and we're gonna do the same thing all the way around. All right, so I have picked up the last pearl, and I'm adding it the same way I've added all the other ones. And I'm gonna go up the next 8-0. And now we have completed that row. So we're going on to the next, which means I go through the first pearl that I added. And for this next row, we are putting an 11-0 in between. So I pick up an 11-0, go through the next pearl. Just like that. Pick up the next 11-0, go through the next one. Just like that. And we're going all the way around. I'll add one more. And we'll meet back up when we get all the way around. All right, and here it is. So now that I've gone through the last pearl, adding that last 11-0, I'm gonna step up and go through that first 11-0 that I added. And now the next round is gonna have two 15-0s, and we're just jumping from 11-0 to 11-0, just like that. And the next one, pick up two more, go to the next one, two more, go to the next one. And we go all the way around, and I'll meet back up. All right, so I added my last set of 15-0s, and I'm coming out of the 11-0. So I'm gonna go up into the first set of 15-0s that I added. And now I'm gonna add the 3mm rondelles. So I'll pick up one, go into the next set of 15-0s. Just like that, and pull it right into place. Pick up the next one, go into the next set of 15-0s, and pull it right into place. And the next one, just like that, and we're gonna continue the same way all the way around. All right, so we just added the last rondelle. We're coming out of that 15-0, so we're gonna work up to the next level, go through the first rondelle that you added. And the next row are gonna be these purple pearls. And I'm just gonna go right into the next rondelle. Just like that. Take one more, go into the next one. Pull it through, like that, one more. Go into the next one, just like that. And we're gonna work our way all the way around. All right, and I have the last pearl, and I'm gonna put it through that last rondelle, just like that. And now I'm gonna step up through the pearl. There we go. And the last layer, another set of 2 15-0s go into the pearl, just like that. Pick up 2 more, next pearl, and 2 more, and just like that, all the way around. All right, I have the last 2 15-0s. I'm going into the last pearl. All right, just like that, it is completed, and now all we have to do is add the ear wire. So I'm going to go through 2 more 15-0s and 1 more pearl. I'm going to pick up 1 more 15-0 and go through one side of a wire guardian and back down the other side. And I'm going to pick up 1 more 15-0 and go back through that pearl. Just like that. And I noticed that the thread came out of that groove, so I want to make sure that I go back before I tighten it up. There we go. Make sure the thread falls in that groove, and then I'm going to pull it snug. And I'm going to go back around one more time. So through the 15-0, through the wire guardian, and back down the other side and the other 15-0. Then pull it through. And this time I'm going to go through the pearl and through the 2 15-0s right next to it and through the next pearl. And I'm going to put my knot right here. I'm going to go through that outer layer. And when it gets small, I'm going to go through that loop, pull it through and make a knot. Go through one more time. And then go through the loop. And then pull it snug. I'm going to take my cutters and get right up next to it. I'm going to get my thread zap, push the button, and once it heats up, I'm going to go to that nub, melt it down a little bit, just like that. All right, and very quickly, I'm going to add that ear wire, take my round nose pliers, open it just a little bit, put it on there, and close it back. And here they are, and I am now going to go through the patterns of the kit edition. So the first pattern I'm going to review is the Super Duo Twine Chain Necklace. And here is mine. You can see it's pretty close, if not exactly like the picture. Here is what it looks like up close. And as you can see, it was very repetitive and I will say very, very simple to make. I did not need the video version. What was here in the pattern was plenty. Here is the clasp on the end. So I do think this looks really cool. I made mine about 21 inches long and very, very simple pattern. And the second one I made was the Floral Feast pendant or ring. And the pattern, of course, calls for a pendant. Here is mine. What is in the pattern, the pictures and the step-by-step instructions, it is a pendant. I did watch the video version on this one, and in the video version, she explains that you could take this and she shows how you could go about making like a ring portion to it on the back of it. So here it is, nice and close. It has that cabochon inside with that netting on the front, and there it is on the back with the 2 layers of petals. This one was a little bit more difficult. It was still pretty simple. Like I said, I did need the extra assistance of the video version just so I could see it, but it wasn't too difficult. I think this is very cool and very pretty. All right, so here is the last one, the Cranberry Bracelet. And here is mine. So one thing I will say, as far as this picture shows, the bracelet itself looks a lot more involved than I expected it to based on this picture, because the way they have it set up, the dominant part that you see is the back of it up here. So I'm thinking this looks pretty nice, pretty cool. And as I'm putting it together, I'm just thinking this is so much more involved and so much more complicated. But then of course, this is the back. So if you look at the back of the bracelet, that's exactly what it looks like, is what the back of the picture is down there. So this is what the front of the bracelet looks like. And it is very involved. This one I also needed the video version of to finish it properly. And of course the clasp with the cabochon had it glued in there. And there it is. I do not think this one was difficult. I will say it was just more involved. A lot more steps than I was anticipating. And it definitely looks a lot busier than I thought it would. But I do think it looks really cool. All right, so now I'm going to get everything back on the screen. All right, so here is everything for the Potomac bead boxes for the month of November 2023. And I really enjoyed making the patterns this month. I can definitely see making a few of these again, maybe in different colors. That is one thing that I love about the bead boxes, is if I do like a pattern, I tend to make several of them in different colors. And I really do love how these earrings came out. I think the colors go really good together. I love that hammered textured ring in the middle. I think this is really pretty. So if you like this video and you want to see other videos just like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give me a like. Leave a comment. I absolutely love reading my comments. You guys are so kind. And I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.